Okay, so today is November 25th, 2020, and it's a little bit after I found out Meghan Markle had a miscarriage. And I'm doing this video, and I've been wanting to do it since the first time I saw the video of Will Smith discuss Janet Hubert on the Red Table Talk. So I've been wanting to do that video, but I kept on pushing it back. And the feeling that I had when I first saw the video of Will Smith, I don't have it anymore. So I'm gonna push myself to see if I could recapture some of the things that came to mind when I first saw it. But I did make some list of things as I was watching it the first time, and hopefully I will remember what I was thinking at the time. So I'm gonna read some of the things that I said, and hopefully as I go through it, and I'll share it with you. I thought about, I wrote psychology punches.
Take a punch.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you did with Janet was you took psychological punches, one after the other, okay? And that capacity was something Ali had to cultivate, right?
Yep,
Lean back
yep.
on the ropes. And in some ways that would exhaust his opponent. But in
Yep.
this case, it helped her release her pain.
Yep.
But we know how Ali trained. I need to know how Will Smith trained.
Listening, okay? 3 words can kill.
You could finally listen. You be the psychologist for a minute. What do you think are the 3 most important parts of listening?
I think the major part is let them complete their story. No debate. There's no D in love.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
No debate.
No.
You're just going to listen thoroughly to what their story is. It seems really simple, but it's huge. You've got to ask questions about the other person's story. I would say that's number 1. And the thing that Jada and I have that is really magical is after they tell you the story, it's still not your turn, repeat it back.
That's fantastic. Yes.
So much of what you said just destroyed, and everywhere I went, everybody just beat me up. We lost our house. I lost everything. Reputation, everything. You took all that away from me. With your words. You know, words can kill. You know those words, calling a black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death. And it's hard enough being a dark-skinned black woman in this business. Angry black woman, that's all I got. Bitter. You just went too far when you were younger. And I know you always had to win.
I didn't realize the power
Of your words.
of my words and what that would, how that would affect you. And went way too far and said things to people that wouldn't know how to hold that information. And then once you put it in, then the machine grabs it, then they start putting their own spin on it. It was all way too far on my end.
For not knowing each other's personal life and struggle.
I wish you had thought about my family. I wish you had thought about the consequences of your actions.
Whew.
You didn't know. You
Yep.
guys didn't know. Very abusive marriage. I had a new baby. He was 3 months old. So I felt like there was no sanctuary anywhere for me. Family disowned me. The black community disowned me because he kept wanting to bring it up.
Yeah.
It's like, what about that freshman's thing? What about Will Smith? What about all the, it just never goes away. Black people beat my ass. They beat my son's ass. Somebody smashed a cookie in my son's face and said, your mother is a bitch. People send me hateful Instagrams. Aren't you dead yet? I love Will. Why don't you just die? It was hard. It was hard. But I promised my dad before he left this earth, and you know you lost your dad, that I would clear my name because it's his name. And my family said, you've ruined our name.
Okay, she knows her worth.
Offered me this really bad deal in the 3rd season to, I think, sort of put me in my place. So I said no. The whole negotiation thing was messed up.
Yeah.
You guys offered me something I had to turn down. And I was like, why?
Absolutely. And
Did you know that they offered me 10 weeks of work and said you can't work in grounds?
I didn't know specifically what the offer was.
10 weeks.
And I knew that
2
you had
months.
turned down the offer.
How do you survive with a mortgage and a new business and a new baby and a husband who wasn't working at the time? How do you survive?
6, she's professional.
As the oldest woman on that set, you know, there's that respect level that I just needed to have of being an older woman and a black woman. We had our issues, and I wasn't unprofessional on the set. I just stopped talking to everybody because I didn't know who to trust. And
Her training.
Like, Janet was Juilliard trained.
Yeah.
Janet can sing, she can dance, she can act, she's brilliant, and she was in the parental figure.
Yes.
Right? So my little boy desperately needed her approval.
And I think when I wrote this, I think I was thinking about her, where she went to school, Juilliard Arts, and study her craft very well. Unlike Will Smith, who, you know, due to his music, sort of navigate toward the industry and transfer into being an actor. But Janet Hubert was trained professionally to be an actress, so she kept her professionalism on the set. So that's one of the things I was thinking about when I wrote this. Okay, she's professional. Okay, her training. Okay, 7, will become mature. Okay, will become mature. His career skyrocketed. Her career died. Okay, I'll rewatch the video again, and then when I get to the part, and I will share it with you again. But I'm just reading the list.
only you know and I know what the truth is about all of this. I just wanted to know one thing. Why? Why so far? You guys went so far. I lost so much.
List. Okay, Janet Juilliard training. So that's 8. That's another thing. Okay. 9, will feel threatened by her training. Okay. I think what I was feeling there when I wrote this is the fact that, I mean, Will explain himself. I give him a lot of credit for bringing this to light. Okay. So, what did I say here? Okay, will feel threatened by her training. I think what I was thinking here is the fact that maybe, okay, obviously I'm wrong. Maybe, what do you call this? Some sort of a jealousy. Maybe Will saw her acting was really good and some sort of a jealousy there. I voted, but this is my opinion. But if you watch the entire video of Will Smith on the red table, he explained his thought. Okay, so that's what I felt when I heard him say it. But he did explain himself about some of the stuff that I'm bringing out.
On the little boy in me level with Janet, I needed mommy to think I was great, and then once I realized that she didn't, my dragon woke up.
Okay, you become that little boy in any system that feels like a family. You've got to stay on top
Stay
of
on
that.
top of that.
That's
Yeah, I
it.
just realized, it's like, oh shoot, that was the family dynamic again.
That's it. You know, so that's a trigger, and you feel it in here, and the problems, we feel it physically.
Yeah.
So it feels as real as though we were 4 years old.
Absolutely.
everything was a threat to me.
Why was I a threat?
Not you, the world. I had a dream and I was a scared little boy. The reason I got into the business, everything I was trying to do, like I was so driven by fear and jokes and comedy and all of that.
Yeah, you were live.
Okay, so not to get anything twisted, I'm not changing his word, but I'm just saying my humble opinion. This is what I felt when I heard him say certain things. Okay, 10, most men in professional setting act like boys. The reason I said that is some guys, they don't know how to differentiate. Like, when you go in a room, you turn the light on, and when you're leaving, you turn the light off. So most men don't know how to behave at different setting. They carry on their childish behavior in a professional setting. So that's what I felt there, because there was some issue going on, and he never switched back. Okay, when you're dead, there are times, you have to act professional, and there are times you have to act silly, and there are times you have to be, in good manners and all of that. But he never switched back. Okay, obviously, again, I'm going back. I'm not changing his word. He is sorry for what he has done, what he has caused her.
Thank you for sharing that with me. That's new information for me. Like, I didn't know that. I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
And as asleep and unconscious as a human being could possibly be. And it's so obvious looking with these eyes.
Okay, because she lost everything, she said, right? And then he's pretty much felt bad that he didn't recognize that. Okay, he was young.
I just swear my 21-year-old eyes could only see that I felt like you hated me.
I hated what you did. I just hated what you did. You took my career away of 30-something years.
Okay, making a lot of money and all of that. He even had problem with taxes. Okay, he didn't pay his taxes. But Vivian, I'm calling her Vivian, JanetHubert, okay, she knew her worth. She was trained. She was professional there. So she knew how to turn on and turn off. Because if you ask anybody who's been watching Fresh Prince from Bel-Air, when they ask about who's your favorite Vivian, not to take away from the one who replaced her, okay, not to change that at all. Everyone said they like JanetHubert, okay? So I liked her too on the thing, but then I get used to what was given to me to watch. You understand what I mean? But that kind of childish behavior have cost her a lot. She even said she lost, she had some marital problem, at home, but she knew how to turn on and turn off. Okay, when she goes home, she'd become, JanetHubert and be a mommy, be a wife, and all of that. And when she gets to work, she turn off the home kind of behavior, and she put on her professional hat on and did what she had to do. And one of the things that I'm really proud of her is the fact that she knows her worth. And she said something like, when they gave her like contract, like for the 3rd season or whatever it was, and they give her, I think, 10 weeks worth of episode or something like that, and then at the same time she can't go and look for other job, and she declined it. She's like, no, you're only giving me 10 weeks or whatever amount of per episode, and then you're telling me I cannot be someplace else. So she declined it. So that's why some of the thing came off a little, and it seems like I not all of a sudden I remember everything now. She going on, I think Will did not understand the process of things or what went on behind closed doors or something like that. But we have to think of Will as a young boy who's into that huge setting, and he went on public and said different things, and that pretty much crushed Vivian, Janet Hubert, and her career have died out. I have since Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I haven't seen her in any other place, but Will had went public and said something about being fired or something like that, when in fact she wasn't fired. She just declined the kind of offer they gave her. So she felt really betrayed by that, and that really got her upset. And yeah, let me go back to my list. Okay, because I'm going to watch the video again and see if I come back with some more of those emotions that I was feeling. Okay, most men in professional setting act like boys. That's what I just went. Janet Hubert career of 30 years down the drain. I sort of brought that back in some of the thing I mentioned a few minutes ago. Okay. 12, she's tired of fighting. Okay, so when I heard her said that she's tired of fighting, is the fact that for 30 years...
I hated what you did. I just hated what you did. You took my career away of 30-something years. You just went too far. You were younger.
I didn't realize the power
Of your words.
of my words and what that would, how that would affect you.
But you get tired of fighting.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight. You know that Teenage Hunter song?
Yeah.
I don't really want to fight no more.
Fight no
It's time
more.
for letting go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. My heart is just tired. I'm so tired from all of this.
She said she lost her house. She lost, she went through all the regular things people went through. Sometimes people go through. And she's like, I'm done with all that back and forth stuff. I don't think she went back and forth. I think she only put one video out, which I never come across until I saw that video. They posted it. And she was really upset at Will for pretty much sort of ruin her career. Okay, it's like... It may not seem like it, but this is how I'm interpreting it. Will's career was skyrocketing. We've seen all the movies that Will did, and at the same time, Will was stepping on her to elevate himself, if unconsciously, okay? Because Will did not know he was doing that. That's the thing. Sometimes when you do things, it's good to ask questions to make sure you understand what the other person is saying, because there is like miscommunication that was going on, and none of them really sit down and talk to each other and find out why certain things was happening. Okay, and I think Will brought that up too, and he apologized for not knowing or unconsciously doing certain things that pretty much was ruining her career. And that's where she said something about, I should put that on there, where her words do kill. Oh, I did say it was number 3. Words can kill. So some of the things that Will was saying were pretty much killing her career. And she said she received death threat. People were saying stuff to her, sending a death message to her family and things like that. So when you're a public figure, you have a platform. This is why sometimes you have to hold back somewhat. Okay, I can understand if someone is attacking you, you have to defend yourself. But when you, public figure like Will Smith and things like that, just sometimes you hold back a little bit. Don't instigate. Don't put things unless someone say something to you or something like that. Okay, so her career went down. Okay, that's what I mean by words can kill. Maybe I pretty much understood everything now that I start talking. Okay, let me go to my list again. She's tired of fighting. Okay, listen and closure. So the reason why Will brought this back, and he couldn't go further because it was like a 30-year anniversary for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he felt like he cannot celebrate the 30 years without having the original and Vivian. So that's how they sat down and start talking to put closure into things. And I'm really give Will Smith tons of credit for doing that, because not a lot of men will admit they're wrong. And the other thing I want to give him credit for doing is listening to her. Okay, they even meant the psychologist that was there with Will even mentioned that he listened to her and understood where she was coming from, and Will felt it. I could understand it was genuine feeling by both of them. Will understood what he did wrong, and he understood how she perceived or how she received his behavior, and all this was unintentionally. Okay, so Vivian, I keep on calling her Vivian, JanetHubert, was professional at the when she comes to work. So when things were getting heated, okay, she went in her trailer and sit down, remove herself from the bed environment, but will receive it at a different way. And that's when at the red table, he was talking about his past experiences, how he become, how he is to make people laughing as a form of some sort of a defense mechanism. But that's the thing, he didn't know how to switch on and switch off when he's at work. I could understand you could make people happy because when you are working, you sometimes spend more time with the people you work with than you do with your own family. So you have to create that sense of easiness and comfort and happiness. They become part of your family. But at the same time, you have to understand the professionalism when it comes to that particular setting. There's certain jokes you can make when you are there, unlike when you are doing with your family and things like that. So that's where the problem had come up with Will Smith. But now he's more mature. I think he understands that. He understands he's wrong. And I give JanetHubert major credit, even though her career crushed to the point where I don't remember any other movie she's done since Fresh Prince. And she said she lost everything. But I give her so much respect for the fact that the way she carried this out and she knows her worth. Okay, can you imagine, let's say there's a commercial, even though she was doing that big show, but sometime when you need money, you have to do what you have to do to pay the bills. Just because she signed that particular deal for whatever amount of weeks or months they wanted her for Fresh Prince, and then but that money is not enough for the amount of things that you're doing for your family and all of that. And a small little role come out, and because of that contract, you can't take it. So instead of that, I understand her not taking the contract that whatever the Fresh Prince producers or whoever offer her. I understand her very well. And she ended up losing everything. Even if she was able to do just that particular 10 weeks of things, whatever happened, because she said she lost her home and things like that, she lost everything. I don't think eventually it will still end up the way it did, because unless if she had enough time to sell her house and things like that. But that short amount of time will still put her at a deficit, even if she stayed for that particular time. So I could understand her not taking the offer. Again, I'm not blaming Will Smith for any of this, and I actually congratulate him to put this to light and set aside all the problem that had happened between him and her and Janet, and to move forward, because I think at the end of the thing there was healing between both of them. She even said, I'm tired of fighting. She just want to move forward. Okay, wow, I'm going through the list. I remember everything now all of a sudden. Okay, closure. And I put a star here, someone to protect you, not unleash the dog on you. Okay, so that was I probably misquoted, but that was Will Smith who said that to her. And
the person I want to be is someone who protects you, not someone that unleashes dogs on you.
I appreciate that.
I thought that was very powerful of him to say it, and the tears were pouring down. Okay, and then I put sorry here. I think both of them tell each other sorry for whatever that had happened, and hopefully, yeah, they're moving on. Okay, the next thing that I put, 16, she still see him as a young man. from what I remember when they were talking, Will Smith and Janet, is that because she was much older over there, and she saw him as a young man.
You still feel like my...
Like I'm little?
Yeah. Yes.
You still my Aunt Viv. You still my Aunt Viv.
It's so weird. You know, we've said such hateful things about each other.
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, too.
We good. We are good.
All right, baby boy.
I appreciate you.
You're always a baby boy. I'm always older than you.
That's the kind of professionalism that you see in her. And she still see him that way. I could understand her very well. And I told you guys, when I was in high school, I did some babysitting job. And there's this young man, he's a man now. When I first met him, he was a little boy and crawling, hiding, working with his bed sheet, covering himself. Every time I see him, I tell him, I still remember him as that little boy. So when she said that, when Janet said that to Will Smith, that's what I remember. That's the kind of professionalism she had when she went to work. She doesn't see as someone, you see all those marriages, Hollywood marriages that happen and stuff like that. So this is the kind of professionalism I see in her, and I give her tons of respect for that. Okay, 17, action, behavior, flaws, and hurtful. Okay, so I think I sort of brought this, I mentioned some of these already, is the kind of things that Will did, his action and behavior, okay, and his flaws have created some sort of painful, hurtful to her. And it's also part of lack of communication. If they were able to talk and things, settle things, whatever misunderstanding that each one had with each other. And I think Will, his problem was he was making people laugh and things like that. And Janet wasn't really laughing as part. She was going through her own problem, okay? She had her own problem at home. Maybe during a break or something like that. She wasn't in the mood to be laughing. Okay, but Will Smith saw it as a different thing, as a different response, and thought that he maybe then see him as a good actor or something like that. Okay, again, this is my opinion here. Will Smith and both of them explain everything. Okay, I'll put the link of the video to get their perspective of things, but I'm telling you my humble opinion of things. Okay, so when Will Smith is cracking jokes or things like that, trying to make people happy and stuff like that, and Vivian, Janet, then see it that way. Maybe at the time when Will was making jokes and things like that, there was a break during recording, and then all of a sudden, she turned her switch back off, and then things from back home is popping up in her mind. She was not in the mood to be laughing or something like that. And then in return, Will Smith, at the time, Will Smith probably, humble opinion here, probably saw it as a form of maybe she thinks that I'm not a good actor, or I'm not that good and doing whatever. And all of a sudden, Will probably become put a wall here, okay? But in fact, she didn't give a fuck about all of this. You understand what I mean? She had her own problem, okay? And then Will Smith saw her, okay, in a pedestal, someone who had good training, went to Juilliard and was on Broadway and did theater and all of this. So she had the craft very well. So Will Smith saw that as a, how would you say that? As a threat, okay? As a threat due to her background and education in terms of the industry and things like that, okay? Again, my humble opinion, go to the video and watch him explain everything. This is just my perspective of things. Okay, I'm going down the list. Okay, I probably don't need to watch the video again because now I remember as I go down the list. Okay, she still see him as a young man. I said that already. Action be okay. This is the last one. Janet, professionalism, stay away from unsafe environment by staying in her trailer, which I cover already. She knows her worth. Okay, 10 weeks. Okay, I did put 10 weeks of work and not allowed to work with others. Okay, I already covered that. So yeah, that's my take. I'm not gonna watch the video again because I remember everything. Okay, so I give both of them, Janet Hubert and Will Smith, tons of credit, and especially Will Smith, because as a man, most men will not do that, will not take responsibility of their action, and this is why I give him tons of credit for doing it, and to sit down and talk to her. And in return, I like to give Janet Hubert her own credit too. Okay, throughout all her hardship, not taking the deal that they gave her, she knows her worth. Even though she lost everything and all of that, she knows the business. Okay, she was trained into it. Okay, she left even though she lost everything. Like I said, she kept her head high. Okay, maybe there were small roles somewhere after Fresh Prince. She probably did. I never come across. Okay, but she knew her worth, and most importantly, I give her credit for accepting to sit down with Will, even with all the hardship. Can you imagine? You see someone who crushed your career, 30 years, whatever she was doing, 30 years of that was just down the drain, and still have the courage to sit down and sit with Will Smith and discuss her pain, her agony, and all of this. So both of them, I give them tons of credit. Okay, this is how things should move forward with people, and this is the same thing I be saying on some of my videos. Sometimes miscommunication happens. We need to ask each other questions before we start bashing each other. Is it what you mean? Did what you say is what the way I'm interpreting it and all of that. So this is, I think, is a very good example of how people should act. Human beings should act instead of bashing each other. I mean, I could blame Will Smith in so many levels because his behavior destroys someone else's career, and at the same time, I have to understand. I mean, I'm not giving excuses for men in particular, but his childish not being able to that light switch, turn on and turn off, be professional at a business setting and things like that. That's what pretty much killed Janet's career, because Will Smith didn't know how to turn on and turn off that professionalism and childish behavior when he comes to work. But all of this come with training and education and all of that, knowing how he got there to become to start with, to become an actor. He was doing the music business on his own, where there's not really much training. Yes, people could go to school to learn, and if I'm not mistaken, Will Smith was a very smart man. He was accepted to some Ivy League kind of school, but he turned it down to continue with his music. Okay, I'm not saying he's dumb or anything like that, but the music was taking off without that business kind of mindset. There was no training for the business aspect of it. Okay, as you can see, he didn't pay his own tax. This is, to back off what I'm saying. But when it comes to the movie business, the movie industry, okay, the crossover between the music, okay, and the acting part, okay, almost the same but slightly different, okay. So he didn't have that background training, okay, of the business aspect, the professionalism aspect of it. And let's take a kind of understanding here. Let's put a picture here. If you look at the young people who's rapping and do all of this, when they're doing their album and all of this, you see their group and their environment, who they surround with. Okay, yes, there might be a business mogul who's buying their music, who's signing them. These people who's doing the signing, okay, have the background of professionalism and they know how to manipulate people. But the young people, the singers, all of that, they don't have that mindset of a business. Okay, so and you add to that, okay, lucky for him, he was successful at it, okay, but yet not having the business mindset. For example, the tax part, all right, and then cross over to another level of entertainment, okay, the movie business, where you come up with tons of different people, producers and whatever kind of, whatever, all those type of people with different hats come in. Many of them have gone to school to learn their craft. Okay, Will Smith, I'm pretty sure he probably did not have it. Maybe now he does through all of that, and maybe he went get some other advice and things like that, or maybe he learned while he's doing his stuff, while at work. Okay, do the training while at work. But the thing is that he didn't have that craft, that training into being a business, that business aspect. But Vivian did, Janet did. Okay, she went to school with that. So it's one of those where people with the loudest mic tend to spew more things, and that's Will right there. Again, I'm not trying to put him down, okay, but this is the view that I see in that. But let me stop. I think I went off too much, but I give both of them tons of credit for sitting down to listen to each other. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.